Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel, Vegan Victoria. I'm your host, Lisa Victoria. Today I am very excited and privileged to introduce Mita. She is a meditator, and I know her actually from the Landmark Worldwide Education Center in San Jose, and specifically from the Team Management and Leadership Program. So Mita is such a wonderful person that I am always so happy to be in her presence. It's really just her way of being. And so that's why it's just such a treat for me to get to feature her today. And I want to thank you, Mita, for being here with us and being open to sharing your success story of what you've experienced eating a plant-based diet, all the benefits, and I just can't wait to hear about it. So just want to introduce you, Mita. Thank you.
Wow, Lisa, thank you. Thank you for the great introduction. And I'm honored to be part of this conversation with you and anyone else who's listening to this conversation.
So we're going to just dive right in, and Mita, we'd love to hear, first off, what inspired you to switch your diet to plant-based?
Well, Lisa, you inspired me.
Oh.
Truly, authentically, you inspired me. For as long as I've known you, you've been you're a being. You're an embodiment of what it looks like to eat well, to take care of your body, and you talk about it in a casual conversation. You talk about it, right? And so a few months ago, right as we started shelter-in-place quarantine, I found out that there might be a possibility of cancer. There was a cancer scare that came up, and the first thought that went through my mind was, well, it will be what it will be. What is it that I can do today? And so, because you and I have been talking regularly about different things, I turned to you and I said, Lisa, I want to start, I want to change what I'm putting in my body. Tell me how to get started with the plant-based diet. And that conversation was very impactful for me. And the good news is, I was already eating a vegetarian diet. It was a matter of eliminating some of the animal products like dairy, and I also eliminated gluten and sugar from my diet completely. Good news, a few weeks into it, I think a month into it, there was no cancer scare anymore. And by then I had gotten used to the new way of eating, and I was feeling so good that I didn't go back. I just chose this as my new lifestyle.
Oh, that's incredible, Mita. I'm so touched, and thank you. And like how you mentioned with the cancer, I mean, I didn't know that, and I just have goosebumps right now. I really had no idea what you were dealing with, Mita. Wow, and what a scare that must have been, and then what a relief to find out that it's not a worry anymore. Oh. It's just unbelievable. My mind is just blown right now. So, okay. Oh my gosh, what a testimony.
And Lisa, in this journey, I lost 20 pounds so far. 20 pounds and counting.
That is amazing. Oh, and congratulations. What a revelation. All these fantastic changes. It really was a transformation. What are the other benefits that you've been receiving since changing your diet?
So a few things I started noticing almost immediately. My body started, so I would wake up with aches and pains. Not much, nothing that prevented me from functioning, but I would wake up with lower back pain, or through the day I would have pain in my left knee. And for people who've known me for as long as they've known me, I've had that pain in my left knee, and it kind of became part of my life and living. So I started noticing that over time, my body wasn't in pain. And it didn't happen overnight, but that's what I noticed, that my body was not in pain. My skin got clearer. And I slept better. I felt more like sometimes after eating meals, I would feel sluggish. I no longer feel sluggish after eating meals. I know that now it's time for my body to eat, and it's a form of energizing.
For those who are wanting to incorporate more plant-based into their diet, what challenges have you faced that would also speak to their concerns or their fears?
Two challenges. One challenge is that I recently started experiencing is I miss cheese. And there are other ways you can get vegan cheese, or there are ways of making it out of cashew, and somehow it's not the same. And so I find myself missing that. So that's one challenge where, I want to be open and honest about it. I miss
Absolutely.
a certain food. Yeah. And the other challenge I've noticed is if by mistake I eat something that was part of a food package and I didn't read it, and I ate something that had dairy in it, or if I ate something that had sugar in it, the ability to forgive myself for that and say all is not lost. I ate something today, whether by mistake or by choice. It's not all lost. I can go back tomorrow, or I can go back in my next meal and get back on track. I did not get off track. I don't have to now think that, I broke this diet once, or I veered off this lifestyle. Now I'm no longer a person who's doing plant-based foods.
That's such an excellent point what you just shared too, because we're so easy to make ourselves wrong and then feel bad because it's not going to be just this perfect transition. And then we feel like we've fallen off. How do we get back on? And so it's so much about our emotional and behavioral thinking too. It's very much part of how we treat ourselves. So that's a great tip. Yeah, thank you for that. What other advice can you share, or resources? What have you discovered that others can incorporate in their lifestyle too?
Advice is start with a friend. Start with somebody who is already doing the diet. One resource that has been pretty valuable for me is you, Lisa. And so, what advice I would give to somebody who's starting out is start with a friend. Start with somebody who is already doing this, or who is already living this lifestyle. It can be a friend, a relative, your neighbor, whoever. Start with somebody who's already doing it, so they can guide you along the way. Lisa, I have you. I can call you anytime, and even send you a text in the middle of the night and say, Lisa, I need chocolate for something, and you're gonna, send some chocolates over, or cake or what have you. So start with a friend, somebody you know. The second thing would be there are a lot of resources available on Facebook. Like there's Facebook groups, Instagram groups, YouTube channel. Like Lisa, we have your YouTube channel, Instagram page. Follow those, subscribe to them, join them. Even if you're not actively participating or asking questions, having your feed share all these things is going to keep it top of mind. It'll tell you there are other people who are struggling or having successes, and it'll just keep you going. So it takes a village to change a lifestyle. Don't do it alone. Do it with your friends. Do it with the online community. Go find your village for this purpose.
Oh, excellent. Find our village. That is beautiful. It makes so much sense to have a community around us, to have that supportive system. Like you said, having a friend and groups, that's wonderful, because it's so easy to fall off if we're just doing it alone. And that prompts me to my next question, actually. How has the transition been going for you with your family? Like if someone has a family at home who's not eating all plant-based, what advice can you share for them?
My family has been extremely supportive. They saw the changes in me, in my body, in my lifestyle. And so the first few weeks, it was like, oh, wait a second, what are you doing? And why are you doing that? And once I shared the reason, I was like, I want to take control of my body and what's going in, and I want to take control of my health. My family has been enrolled in it and supportive. We've actually switched quite a few things to in our household to vegan items. We've all started eating those. And so I find that letting your family know what's going on, enrolling them, getting their buy-in and agreement, it's going to make it easier for everybody.
Absolutely.
And I personally think that the vegan things taste better.
You are speaking my language. I don't have to convince you of anything except for the cheese. I am inspired. We're going to do it like a cheese bar. We'll do a cheese cook-off or something, because that'll be a whole separate video. I have been experimenting with different cheeses with vegetables even, and even Peter loved it. So he's one of the perfect test markets, because if he's not fully vegan, he's perfect to experiment with. And anyway, so that's going to be a whole separate segment, but I'm inspired by that. So I take the challenge on, and and that's so wonderful to hear how supportive your family has been, because it's something that I hear quite often from friends, that how do they incorporate that if their housemates or their family members are not in an alignment. So it's great, because then they can come and share the food and try it out and just see how they like it or not. And then they get to see the changes in the other person or not, but really just being a support system and making it fun in the process too. I've seen your photos of all the beautiful, oh my goodness, it just looks like such a dining extravaganza. I'm just like salivating when I see your beautiful photos online. So well done. Yeah. And so it sounds like too, well, I get to see your feed. It looks like you all enjoy cooking and doing more of that at home. Do you find you're cooking more at home too now?
A lot more. And actually, here's another thing, Lisa, now that you say that. Something all of us are noticing at home is, since we started cooking a lot more at home and doing more plant-based foods or natural foods as well, we are not enjoying restaurant food as much.
Wow.
So our favorite restaurants, we can do carry out from there. Our favorite dishes, I don't find them as appealing anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you mean. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I imagine too, even when you do order out, you get better at finding what types of foods you want in terms of what doesn't contain the dairy or just hidden ingredients. And I know it takes time. It's a challenge for a lot of people starting out, is they're wondering, how do they order food and how do they look at the ingredients?
I'm very impressed by a lot of restaurants in the Bay Area where they actually have a vegan section.
Oh, it's just heaven for me when I see that. Yes, we're very spoiled in California, I will say, and we're coming to you from our homes since we're mostly all sheltering in place still from San Jose and Pleasanton, California. And I'm still seeing vegan restaurants pop up across the states, across the world. So it's really exciting to see that. And for me, I've been eating this way since 2012. So it's been a long time, and I've enjoyed it. I've never looked back. But I'm always so touched when I get to meet people who have just started this diet. And anything else you want to share with us moving forward, like how you'll sustain this in your lifestyle, any other tips for people?
Yes. Times when like I shared, either by choice or by accident, I ate something that wasn't in this type of food plan. The next day I woke up with pain.
Oh, wow.
And that was my first indication of, great, it tasted great when I had it yesterday, and it was great to just indulge, and I'm able to forgive myself, and my body, there's an impact on my body. And so that's more than enough for me to sustain what I'm doing.
Oh my goodness, that is really fascinating. And I think it's a perfect example, because it's also a matter of just listening to our body and experimenting, seeing what works for us, what doesn't. And no one can argue with that. It's really just our own individual experience, our own likes, dislikes. So that's really precious right there, is knowing your body. Wow. Oh, I can't wait to continue to follow you on your journey, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. So thank you, Meeta, for your time. And anything else you'd like to share?
Lisa, thank you for what you're doing. Not just living a certain way, but sharing your journey and bringing other people like myself to share our journey, because we need a village around. We need our own communities supporting each other and helping each other, and sharing your interview, sharing recipes, being just a role model for a lot of other people, women like myself, women, men like Peter. It is precious what you're doing, and I acknowledge you for doing that. Thank you.
Yeah, I really got that acknowledgement. I'm touched. I appreciate you, your time, your generosity, and what we're offering to the world. I'll end with this, and thank you all for watching. If you would like to be interviewed or know anyone else, please reach out to me, and please make sure to subscribe and continue to follow my vegan journey that continues to grow and expand, and we have a lot more to come. So I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Thank you, Meeta, and lots of love and light to you all.